Hello, everybody, and big ol' what's up? You guys, how are you today? I hope everybody's doing well, and hope everybody's week is going well. And this is Wednesday, which is to me it's just an awesome day. I love these days. Everybody goes hump day. It's middle of and some people are a little apprehensive about Wednesdays because it's not Friday yet, and it's just yeah. But anyhow, it's a sort of a cloudy day out here in North Carolina, but the weather is absolutely amazing. It's like 68 degrees. There's no gnats in my face, so I'm okay with that right now. But what I have for you today are some articles, and of course, we're going to have to cover some of that Fetterman stuff. Man, what a train wreck that was. But I've also got some pretty cool candidates with some great campaign ads. One of them I can't show the video because there's music playing in the background, so it is copyright. But still some good stuff. And just grandma, dude, when you're living in a Democrat run crap hole, this grandma, she's like 72 years old, has to go out and save her friend because she's being mugged right in the middle of the broad daylight. And she's like 70 years old, knocked to the ground by these people. And so this lady has to come out in her defense. Things went well. Nobody got seriously hurt, and the woman's purse didn't get stolen. But of course, oh, and by the way, dude, we're going to show you an article what's happening with LA's George Gascon, that district attorney. There are some very questionable things behind his, whenever back in the day, or not back in the day, but several months ago, I don't know if you remember or not, but there was a certain effort to see if he could be replaced. And I'm going to use certain words because these are trigger words on YouTube. But now there is a committee that's investigating what's going on with some of those things that they were used to cast voices. And I'm not claiming I'm not saying that anything happened, YouTube. All I'm saying is there's a committee looking into it because they say that 27% of those signatures that were invalidated were under certain weird circumstances of that invalidation, and almost like special efforts were taken to find ways to invalidate those. And so there's a committee looking into that. So, boy, dude, recently with Connect, I guess the company that had to do with it had to do with our e-words and information. Well, there was a huge arrest by Gascon's office of that. Forget the dude's first name, but something you. He was a Chinese fella, and come to find out, there's allegations. By the way, YouTube. I'm not claiming anything yet, so just hold your horses. That there was a huge data breach that spans all the way as deep as some of our elites in the military, and it has compromised our military because it had to do with certain ways that used to be used for casting your voice while you're overseas, and they were able to gather data through everybody's phone, and like serious stuff, like everything, all the pictures, all the texts, all the messages. And so there's a lot of really, it doxed where a lot of military people were at, like some of our, with a special I mean, just think about that, guys. It goes really deep. So there's allegations of that. Allegations, YouTube. Well, that Gascon's office has that person in custody and the information, and it's all, and there's a reason for that, because that way that's actually protection for their side, because they're going to scrub stuff. Could allegedly think about the possibilities. Not claiming anything, YouTube. So all I'm saying is that happened. We know that mainstream has reported on that, and some of the actual depths of where the data breaches go. Well, anyways, enough talk about that. Let me roll through some of these articles, guys, and you'll see. I'll show you the where Idaho, right here. Check this out, and L.A. We'll get to L.A. in just a second, dude. So, Idaho gubernatorial candidate Amon Bundy vows to help moving cost of liberals leaving the state if he's elected. Dude, this video right here, which I wish I could play, but there is music in the background. I'll show you the video while I talk about it a little bit, and I can kind of I'll walk you through what's going on. But at the beginning of this, he's talking about the cost of what it is to afford the welfare and other, like, just to keep a liberal up. There's going to show a graph here in a second, but he's telling everybody, if you want to move. See, look at this right here. That's how well I'm pointing at this thing, but that 39.7% is 90%. It's a huge cost in their tax base. He says that he can eliminate land tax, grocery tax, and I think income tax. It says it right here. if they just don't have all these handouts. And I'm all for, helping people who need the help. But a lot of these people are just expanding the system to their advantage. And pretty much they're now getting a UBI. And he says, you know what? You ain't got to leave. But I'll tell you what, we'll help you move and we'll pay the cost because we'll save money. And you can go live in one of those places that wants to give you all those handouts. So that's a really savage article. Really, if he can, stand his ground on that and deliver when he's in office, we would, man, the people in Idaho, by the way, guys, let me explain to you about what's going on in Idaho. There's a thing going on behind the scenes where they're trying to, like, half of the state is like going around, maybe not quite half, but a good portion of the state is wanting to move away from them and get away from them people. I think it's Idaho. It might be, no, it's Oregon. Oregon's wants to move to Idaho, something like that. There's something going on with that, but I do know California is working on New California, which is like 3/4 or I would say 15/16 of California wants to secede from the Democrat-run policies and become New California and leave like places like LA and San Francisco and other places to be regular California, and y'all guys can have it. It's almost that movie Escape from LA. And I keep memeing that. One of my videos I used a meme for that where they're like, LA is supposed to break off. I don't know if you remember that Kurt Russell movie, but Escape from LA. I mean, dude, the memes write themselves, guys. But here's a misgendering a pet can result in serious micro subconscious distress. Here's a lefty who has now got a pet that says is trans. Let's see if I can look at that. This dog appears happy expressing femme gender identity. If this is the case with your pet, try using a series of feminine pronouns to watch their body. Like this, dude, these are lefties, and cute fun. Now, the bunny rabbit's cute, guys. The bunny rabbit's cute. But anyhow, Kathy Hochul, the Holch. Here she is, nuking her campaign real quick. If you listen at the very end, excuse me, guys, a little patriot burp there. You've got the debate right here between. I'm so sorry about. Kathy Hochul lost the governor debate to Lee Zeldin. Here you go. And this is her whole campaign. Lee Zeldin. Guys, forgive me for not keeping up with all the names. I do my best. I'm just an auto technician just trying to work on some cars and bring some truth, guys. But listen to her at the very end. It's like the last 3 seconds. She nuked her whole campaign. Watch.
This governor, who still, to this moment, we're halfway through the debate, she still hasn't talked about locking up anyone committing any crimes.
Okay.
Anyone who commits a crime under our laws, especially with the change they made to bail, has consequences. I don't know why that's so important to you. All I know is that we could do more.
So, what she said under her, she's the part of the one behind the bail reform where there's no cash. You could like chop somebody's arm off with an axe, and you catch a assault with a deadly weapon charge, and probably not get charged with attempted M word. We know of right now. We know of a lady who was canvassing, not this state, a different state, but it was something of the same Democrat-run problems where she was canvassing for pro-life, and this 57-year-old man shoots her in the with a shotgun, but one of the pellets hits her in the shoulder. Romeo and I went round and around whether or not it was. They were like, that was a slump. No, anyways. If you watched our live the other night, it was some kind of something happened. Anyways, long story short, a lot of violence is being committed against just conservatives by the Democrats, by the leftists, not us. And they've taken away bail where you're in jail until they bail you out, which still to me, if you're innocent to proven guilty, so bail is a constitutional right. But there are some people who are guilty when they go in there. Just in an argumentative sense, not anything here, but they can bail out and do whatever, and but that's okay because there's some innocent people that have been there, and luckily bail gets them out while they're waiting. Like Bannon's innocent, I would consider, or he was by the courts, he was convicted, but some of the things going on behind the scenes there makes us wish that they would look at all the realms. So YouTube don't. I'm not misinforming anybody. He was guilty by the court of law that was heard by D.C. anybody listening. Now on to Fetterman. Fetterman, guys. Let's see here. Fetterman's stance on fracking. Let's see if we can muddle through this.
Mr. Oz, I do want to clarify something. You're saying tonight that you support fracking, that you've always supported fracking, but there is that 2018 interview that you said, quote, I don't support fracking at all. So how do you square the two?
I do support fracking.
So, I don't know what happened there, but both of them stood there. But Fetterman speaks up for Oz. Here we go.
Mr. Oz, I do want to clarify something. You're saying tonight that you support fracking, that you've always supported fracking, but there is that 2018 interview that you said, quote, I don't support fracking at all. So how do you square the two?
I do support fracking, and I support fracking, and I stand and I do support fracking.
Okay.
Guys, this thing was kind of just a train wreck all the way around. I mean, she was asking Oz, but he spoke up for him, but Oz wasn't paying attention. And, but Fetterman speaks up and goes completely off the rails there for a second. Let's see here. Check this out. Let's see.
I absolutely support fracking. In fact, I live across the street from a steel mill.
But he doesn't, by the way. One of his main things was he was against it. But, both of them were against fracking, so I'll be fair about that. Oz and Fetterman both were against fracking. But now they're all for fracking because, we want to get the votes. And, or better yet, maybe some people have chosen a different path because of the fact they realize that there is somewhat of a clean way of doing it. Fracking is, we need energy. So it's a fine line. As long as it's done right, I hope it's done right. But, yeah.
They were going to frack to create their own energy in order to make them more competitive. And I support that, living closer to anybody else in Pennsylvania for fracking to myself. I believe that we need independence with energy, and I believe
So what he's talking about there, he's just the talking points. We got the talking points here, guys.
That line my entire career. I believe Democrats.
Mr. Fetterman, I do have a specific question which you can continue on this topic, but you have made two conflicting statements regarding fracking. In a 2018 interview, you said, quote, I don't support fracking at all. I never have. But earlier this month, you told an interviewer, quote, I support fracking. I support the energy independence that we should have here in the United States. So, Mr. Fetterman, please explain your changing position. 60 seconds.
I've always supported fracking.
Yeah, the talking points, guys. It gets better though. It gets way better. Here we go. This is.
Who have told us that if the minimum wage were increased to $15 an hour, it would put them out of business. You have 30 seconds.
No, we all have to make sure that everyone that works is able to, that's the most American bargain, that if you work full-time, you should be able to.
The American bargain.
Live in dignity as well, true. And I believe they haven't have any businesses being you can't have businesses being subsidized by not paying individuals that just simply can't pay to pay their own way.
Okay, Mr. Fetterman, thank you. Mr. Oz, turning to you. Do you support raising?
It gets worse. It gets worse. Here we go. All right, here we go. Wait a minute. This guy right here, for his campaign, at the very end of this guy here, I'll play a little bit of it. But
doing his recovery in public for quite some time.
He drops the F-bomb, so I'm not going to play the F-bomb right now because there's kids probably listening. I would like this to be somewhat family friendly. I have been known to curse a time or two, but to be honest with you, I like to keep this channel family friendly, where we use pretty clean language. Now we'll have a little fun here and there with some of that stuff, but here's I think this is where he's talking about his Dr. L, I think.
Again, my Dr. L believes that I'm fit to be serving, and that's what I believe is where I'm standing.
Oh.
So what he's talking about is being cleared for duty. His Dr. L says that he's okay and ready to go. He can punch it out. Could you imagine what it'd be like in Congress with this guy running stuff and a little computer beside him to decipher all the words and the pauses in between, and then he comes up and he says this right here. Look, this I kid you not. This is
as Lieutenant Governor. You're running for a seat that could decide the balance of power in Washington. What qualifies you to be a U.S. Senator? You have 60 seconds.
Hi, good night, everybody.
I messed it up. Start again.
As Lieutenant Governor, you're running for a seat that could decide the balance of power in Washington. What qualifies you to be a U.S. Senator? You have 60 seconds.
Hi, good night, everybody. I'm running to serve Pennsylvania.
What?
He's running to use Pennsylvania.
Good night, everybody. This is the beginning of the show. Good night. What is this?
Yeah, again, my Dr. L believes that I'm fit to be serving, and that's what I believe is where I'm standing.
Oh.
All right. Well, by this mainstream article here, there's 5 takeaways from Pennsylvania's John Fetterman and Dr. Oz's debate in a key U.S. Senate race. I don't know what's going on here, guys.
And let's also talk about the elephant in the room. I had a stroke. He's never let me forget that. And I might miss some words during this debate, mush 2 words together, but it knocked me down, but I'm going to keep coming back up. And this campaign is all about, to me, is about fighting for everyone in Pennsylvania that ever got knocked down that needs to get back up.
Okay, guys, this man here pulled a gun on an African-American jogger in his town that he was mayor in. And he's talking about gun violence and all this stuff. And the allegations against him, so he says that he was acting in good faith because he didn't know who the race of the person, which he may not have, but he was on one of those benders where he's, obviously he's into a lot of really, eccentric kind of things, a whole lot worse than weed, because he's all an advocate for places for people to go shoot up fentanyl. So no telling what he was doing whenever he encountered this person, but he took it upon himself as mayor, and he says chief law enforcement. That's not a mayor, by the way. I read the article. I'm serious. I'm not kidding. Let me go down here and find it right quick. I'll show you. Odds has been pressing for more debates. An elephant in the room. Let me see where this was at here. Give me a second here. Keep coming back up. Let's see here. Oz as crime as an election, the E-word issue. Candidates attacked Fetterman for being soft on crime side. But Fetterman on Tuesday defended himself against those accusations and asserted Oz is all talking of it. If I'm the only person on stage or success. I'm trying to find where it's, I read it in this article here. Oh, yeah. I think this is it right here. The Republican also pushed for Fetterman to apologize for pulling a gun on an unarmed black jogger in 2013 when the Democrat was Braddock's mayor. Okay, Fetterman has said which Democrats have been well known for being completely unhinged. This is true. We've seen this. I think you have with the Rees and all that stuff. But Fetterman has said that he was unaware of the man's race at the time and stopped the runner because he thought he'd heard gunshots in the area. And so Fetterman's defense is, I don't apologize for the incident on Tuesday, saying he was acting as Braddock's chief law enforcement officer. No, you're a mayor. You have no right to pull guns on people they're just jogging down the road. I mean, really, this last time I checked, that he is an endanger to society. Big truck. He's an endanger to society, guys, because that's unhinged activity, especially with a firearm, to just, hey, and pull a gun out on somebody that's not threatening you because you thought you heard some kind of shots in the area. That's a dangerous, dangerous person, by the way. And he did that. And this was a black dog. So here's your racism right there, guys. Boop, 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 boop. Right there. Look at that. Face of it right there. But, and so with him running stuff, you'll have incidents like this because that, by the way, his hometown that he was known for mayor and his crime rate went up. Everybody's property values went down because of the crime and all the buildings that went downhill and no infrastructure being repaired, all the money being kind of just washed down the drain through somebody's washing process. Watch what happens in a Democrat-run hole whenever you. This is it. Here you go.
Take a look.
This is a 72-year-old woman, a 70-year-old friend of hers, and a mugger that's trying to get this woman's purse right in broad daylight. And look at how they had to fence off, how she had to fence off an area so that they could feel safe right there, and just on the side of the road. When did we see city streets look like this right here? By the way.
Tonight, I spoke to that woman who ran out to help. She
could have ran that woman's arm over. You know that, right?
Known as 76-year-old Miss Faye. She witnessed that man coming out
of 76-year-old woman. I apologize.
The car to snatch her elderly neighbor's purse earlier this month. You heard her yelling for her German Shepherd Troy to come out and.
That 76-year-old woman get around 10 times better than Biden. Never thought of it. 80. She is getting. She threw that cane like 100 yards.
Help. Miss Faye using.
And let's love on that dog over there checking on that person.
Her cane jumped in to break up the robbery attempt, even throwing her cane at the car.
Were you scared at all to jump in? Because most of the time people are worried there might be a gun.
I never thought about it. The fear never crossed my mind.
These people shouldn't have to be subjected to that. They should not be subjected to that kind of treatment in their own city, in their own towns. That's just absolutely sad. And this area where this happened at, let's see if it shows where Oakland, California, guys. And do you remember, I don't know, if you've been on this channel for a while, you may remember a video I did where there was a shooting at a cookout in Oakland, and one of the supposed mothers said that wasn't even her kid, that was one that she had adopted, and she couldn't remember this, that, and other because she had adopted so many kids, and then she threw gang signs out there. Does anybody remember that video by any chance? I wish I could. I got to do a dig up on that. But that was quite alarming because what it is you've got to think about how these gang operations work, guys. Say, for instance, if I was an entrepreneur and working for probably Soros. Soros is a big funder behind a lot of these gang members, okay, allegedly. You would go to families that are in need of just in poor situations and dire straits, possibly even homeless, and offer them the rights to your child. Then you can raise them up in a gang home, indoctrinate them into the gang violence scene, and you do so many kids you don't even remember who's who, because they were trying to contact her because supposedly she was the legal guardian of this person. And so when she came and talked to the camera people, she's like, I don't know where he at. I don't know. I gotta go see. He wasn't even my blood kid. You know, she didn't even remember who he was exactly. And these are people that, and when she flashed the gang signs, that was all. That was showing people, the clout is what they call that. So this is happening. You think about that, guys. Think about people think about the movement of, let's say, there's the certain procedure they do with children when they move them from border to border without parents. They have a word for it. And in cities, there's a whole lot of traffic whenever there's that going on. Please forgive me for some of the code words. But when it comes to that kind of situation, people don't realize the depths of what some of these gang members will go through to build up this underground army that's used for smuggling drugs and all kind of stuff. And so, yeah, think about homeless people that have kids get offers by these people who say, I'll take care of your kid. I'll even offer you money. Here's a big lump sum of money where you can, whatever. And they do this, and they will trade off their child to a woman like that who will raise that child in a home with other child and teach children to teach them the ways of that life that they want them to be in. And then when they get, this is all a thing, guys. You can look into it, rabbit hole that you have to go into. But, if you do some research, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's quite alarming. But anyhow, we've had a wonderful time with this, bringing you these articles, videos, getting kind of long. So we're going to get back to work, guys. It's almost lunchtime here, so I'm going to get this all cut and up. And I just want to thank all the new subscribers, all the wonderful people out there who've been behind this channel from day one, and all the people who like to come in and just check this out and do your thing, dude. I appreciate all the support. And if you want to help, keep this all going, check me out on We'll Fix It with an exclamation point. That channel there will provide us an opportunity to stay in contact when and if this channel happens to go down due to some of the natures of how this all operates and what we're trying to do to help save America. So thank you so very much. I want to thank you guys, and have a wonderful rest of the week. It's Wednesday. We've got We got one day and a wake up, and it's the weekend, guys. So anyhow, thank you very much. Lots of love. God is definitely in control.